The Shadow King. Rajaram's European Gambit. Chhatrapati Rajaram. His name might not echo as loudly as his father, Shivaji, or his brother, Sambhaji. Yet, Rajaram was a king of shadows and whispers. He ruled during a time of immense crisis for the Marathas. The mighty Mughal Empire, under Aurangzeb, was determined to crush them. Rajaram knew he needed new strategies, perhaps even new friends. He looked beyond India towards the distant shores of Europe. This was a bold, almost unthinkable move for a Maratha king in the late 17th century. His attempts to connect with European powers were shrouded in secrecy, a desperate gamble for survival. The Maratha kingdom was young, forged in fire and rebellion. Shivaji Maharaj had carved it out from the crumbling Deccan sultanates and the vast Mughal domain. His son, Sambhaji Maharaj, had fought bravely but was captured and brutally executed by Aurangzeb. This was a devastating blow. The Marathas seemed on the brink of collapse. It was in this darkness that Rajaram stepped forward. He was not just fighting for a kingdom, he was fighting for the very idea of Maratha independence. His gaze turned towards the European traders on the Indian coasts, the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, and the English. A prince in turbulent times. Rajaram's early years. Rajaram was born in 1670, the younger son of the legendary Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. His early life was spent in the shadow of his formidable father and his elder brother, Sambhaji. He grew up in the hill forts of Maharashtra, the cradles of Maratha power. These forts were not just military strongholds, they were also centers of administration and learning. From a young age, Rajaram would have been exposed to the workings of the Maratha state. He would have heard tales of his father's daring exploits and learned about the constant struggle against larger, more established empires. This environment undoubtedly shaped his understanding of politics and warfare. His formal education likely included training in arms and horsemanship, essential skills for a Maratha prince. He would have also learned about statecraft, revenue collection, and justice, as envisioned by Shivaji. The Maratha administration was innovative for its time, emphasizing efficiency and a degree of fairness. Rajaram's tutors would have instilled in him the values of Swarajya, self-rule, the core ideology of the Maratha uprising. He was not the heir apparent, as Sambhaji was older. Ascent to a thorny throne. The crisis of 1689. The year 1689 was a watershed moment for the Marathas. Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj, who had fought the Mughals for 9 years, was captured through treachery. His execution by Aurangzeb was meant to break the Maratha spirit. The Mughal emperor believed the Maratha resistance would crumble. Raigad, the Maratha capital, was under siege. In this atmosphere, 20-year-old Rajaram was thrust into leadership. The crown he inherited was indeed a thorny one. There were differing opinions among the Maratha Sardars. The Maratha council chose Rajaram to be the next Chhatrapati. He was crowned at Raigad even as Mughal forces closed in. His immediate task was to survive and keep the Maratha state from being extinguished. The Great Escape. Rajaram's journey to Gingee. With Mughal forces relentlessly hunting him, Rajaram made a bold and perilous decision. He decided to escape from Maharashtra deep into the south to the formidable fort of Gingee in present-day Tamil Nadu. This was not an act of cowardice, but a calculated strategic move. Gingee was far from the main centers of Mughal power in the Deccan. It was also a very strong fort, often called the Troy of the East for its impregnability. By shifting his base of operations so far south, Rajaram aimed to stretch the Mughal war machine, create a new front, and continue the fight from a more secure location. This journey was fraught with danger, covering hundreds of miles through enemy territory. The escape itself was an epic of courage and cunning. Rajaram, accompanied by a small band of loyal followers and ministers, traveled in disguise. They faced constant threats from Mughal patrols and local chieftains allied with Aurangzeb. There were close calls, moments when capture seemed imminent. Section 5. Whispers across oceans seeking European allies. From his distant stronghold at Gingee, Chhatrapati Rajaram looked for new ways to bolster the Maratha cause. The fight against the Mughals was draining. Resources were scarce. He knew that traditional Indian alliances alone might not be enough. His gaze, therefore, turned towards the European powers who had established trading posts along the Indian coasts. The Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, and even the English were all present. Rajaram began to explore the possibility of forging diplomatic ties with them, seeking military aid, modern weaponry, and perhaps even naval support to counter the land-based might of the Mughals. These attempts at diplomacy were conducted with utmost secrecy. Aurangzeb had an extensive network of spies. Any open overture to a European power could be seen as a sign of weakness, or worse, could provoke Mughal retaliation against that European power, scuttling any chance of an alliance. Rajaram's envoys, therefore, had to be discreet and skillful. Section 6. The Wary West, European Responses to Maratha Overtures. The European powers in India reacted to Chhatrapati Rajaram's overtures with interest and caution. They were trading companies focused on profit. Involvement in the Maratha-Mughal war was risky. Aurangzeb's wrath could mean loss of privileges and attacks. Engagement with Rajaram had to be weighed carefully. The Portuguese had a history with Indian powers. Shivaji had both fought and allied with them. By Rajaram's time, Portuguese power was waning. Their capacity to offer significant aid was limited. The Dutch were major commercial players. Section 7. Gingee, the Impregnable Fortress and its Secrets. Gingee Fort, chosen by Rajaram as his southern capital, was a masterpiece of military architecture. It was not a single fort, but a complex of 3 formidable citadels atop steep, rocky hills: Rajagiri, Krishnagiri, and Chandrayandurg. These hills were connected by massive ramparts and fortifications, enclosing a large area within. The natural defenses of the hills, combined with strong man-made structures, made Gingee exceptionally difficult to conquer. Its reputation as an impregnable stronghold was well-deserved. For Rajaram, it provided a secure base from which to direct the Maratha war effort and conduct his clandestine diplomatic activities. The strategic significance of Gingee was immense. Its location in Tamil Nadu, far from the Mughal heartland, forced Aurangzeb to extend his supply lines and commit a large army to a long and costly siege. This diverted Mughal resources and attention away from Maharashtra, giving Maratha commanders there more freedom to operate. Rajaram, from within Gingee's walls, could maintain communication with his forces across the Deccan. Section 8. The Unseen War, Espionage, Resilience, and the Toll of Conflict. Chhatrapati Rajaram understood that warfare was not just about battles and sieges. It was also about information, psychology, and endurance. He skillfully waged an unseen war against the formidable Mughal Empire. Espionage played a crucial role in this conflict. Rajaram relied on an extensive network of spies and informants known as herkaras and jasuds. These agents infiltrated Mughal camps, gathered intelligence on troop movements, supply routes, and internal Mughal politics. This information was vital for planning Maratha guerrilla raids and for anticipating Mughal strategies. This network kept him informed even when he was far away in Gingee. This constant guerrilla warfare and the ability of the Marathas to seemingly melt away and reappear elsewhere had a profound psychological impact on the Mughals. Aurangzeb, accustomed to conventional warfare and swift victories, found himself bogged down in an endless conflict. Section 9. A Legacy Unearthed, Rajaram's Enduring Mark. Chhatrapati. Rajaram's reign was relatively short, lasting just over a decade, and much of it was spent in exile or on the run. His contributions were overshadowed by the dramatic reigns of his father and brother. Modern historians now recognize his crucial role in the Maratha state's survival. His strategic acumen and resilience are being studied more closely. His legacy is one of quiet determination and far-sighted leadership. Evidence of Rajaram's European connections lies in colonial archives. Records of the Dutch East India Company, the French Compagnie des Indes Orientales, and Portuguese state papers contain references to Maratha envoys. Piecing together these fragments builds a nuanced picture of his diplomacy. These documents reveal a king thinking globally to protect his people. Rajaram's legacy is that of a warrior king and pragmatic statesman. If you enjoyed this cinematic journey through forgotten diplomacy and ancient courage, like, share, and subscribe to Crazy Color Facts, where history lives in color and truth.